Hi, I'm Jordan Perkins, news editor for the Columbia Chronicle with the Media Hub Minute. The depiction of sex education in schools shown in the movie Mean Girls feels all too familiar to Columbia students who reflected on their school's own curriculum. Senior comedy writing and performance major Austin Dunham says his middle school and high school sex education programs instilled fear into the students, which he says was his biggest issue with the program. Carrie Archer, the manager of education and outreach at Planned Parenthood, says abstinence-only programs do more harm than good when taught in schools. Teens who have only received an abstinence-only education are less likely to use condoms or contraception when they engage in sex, according to Planned Parenthood. Other Columbia students, such as first-year acting major Reese Marcus, say they feel high school sex education isn't LGBTQ+ inclusive. They hope courses adapt to fit the needs of and support every student in the future. You can find out more about this and other student stories in the Chronicle's annual sex issue, available on newsstands now. With sustainability being the biggest factor for consumers when it comes to fashion, one Chicagoland designer is making sure her brand is sustainable and stylish. Alyssa Wright is the owner and creative director of Rocky Vintage, which started out as a small Etsy shop featuring vintage clothing, housewares, and even Wright's own designs. Her brand is now featured in local pop-up shops and on the online marketplace Holy Thrift. Wright says ever since she was young, she would always alter her clothing, as she likes deconstructing things and seeing what else could be made from them. Fashion Studies Department Chair Colby Emerson Reed says the vintage trend revival is seen more often with Gen Z and college students, since they make up the majority of secondhand shoppers. Vintage clothing, while sustainable, also allows for a more personal style that isn't tied to mainstream trends, Reed says. While businesses across the city took a hit during the COVID-19 lockdown in March of 2020, the comic book industry found a way to bounce back from its struggles. Some of the biggest impacts of the lockdown on comic book stores were shipment delays and the cancellation of in-person events, which the owner of First Aid Comics, James Nurse, says was a bit of a struggle. Now, however, the expansion of pickup and delivery methods has helped the store recover. Graham Crackers Comics also experienced a similar struggle, but with the additional stores in the chain, the South Loop locations manager Earl Geyer says they were able to stay afloat by having the ability to transfer merchandise between the 12 stores. Contemporary comics appealing to newer audiences has also been a point of success. Austin St. Peter, adjunct professor in the English and Creative Writing Department, says the representation in modern comics has attracted millennial and Gen Z audiences. With the Media Hub Minute, I'm Jordan Perkins. Thanks for watching.